Greetings from San Diego, California. This interactive international teleconference is reaching you live in English and Spanish through a unique and complex international telecommunications network via satellite, microwave, and cable. This program brings together distinguished institutions representing education, business, and government in more than a dozen countries in the Americas and Europe. We look forward to hearing from you. This is the 12th International Training Center video conference of the year 2003 series entitled Performance and New Generation Total Quality, Achieving Customer Satisfaction in the Global Market. I'm Dr. Farhad Saba, Professor of Educational Technology at San Diego State University and the moderator of today's program. Competitive performance today requires human and managerial, technological, and know-how competencies that can lead to total quality of systems, products, and services. But the process of building these competencies must be coupled to the satisfaction of customers that increasingly will be both local and international, small and large, traditional and innovative. In other words, the global nature and diversity of the potential clients for almost any productive endeavor will provide our organizations great opportunities, yet at the same time will also represent great competitive challenges in the future. The key for success is to adopt a global perspective in our relationships with customers and markets, strengthening our continuous improvement efforts to provide a more global quality level. This video conference will review these and other strategic concepts crucial to our competitive performance. Our distinguished speaker will propose practical criteria and models applicable to all organizations, emphasizing the need to benchmark continuously given the rapid advance in the areas of innovation and technology in our globalized markets. Jerome Finnigan is currently an author, a consultant, and a lecturer. He retired after 33 years with Xerox Corporation, where he held numerous assignments in human resources and organization development. His last assignment with Xerox was as human resources and quality manager for corporate research and technology. Mr. Finnigan was quality officer for the printing systems division at the time Xerox launched their total quality effort and was responsible for guiding the implementation of total quality. He has facilitated and conducted many benchmarking studies since the early 1980s. Mr. Finnigan frequently speaks on the topics of total quality management, benchmarking, and new manager skills at a number of U.S. universities. He has presented to business and government groups at all levels, here in the United States as well as Latin America and in England. Mr. Finnigan is past chairman of the California Business Consortium for Management in Education and was member of a number of committees that worked on drafting many of California's key educational initiatives. Mr. Finnigan has authored many articles and is co-author with Warren Schmidt, Emeritus Professor at UCLA and USC, of 2 books on total quality: The Race Without a Finish Line and America's Quest for Total Quality, that was published in 1992, and TQM Manager, A Practical Guide to Managing in a Total Quality Organization, published in 1993. He is also author of The Manager's Guide to Benchmarking, that was published in 1996. All 3 books were published by Josie Bass, a John Wiley & Sons company. Mr. Finnigan has recently completed a new manuscript, The Formula for Success. Thank you and welcome. Let me begin with a question. Total quality management is not a new concept. It has been with us for at least the last 20 years or so. Therefore, we have known the concept for some time. What is the difference between the concept of total quality as we have known it for the past 10 or 15 years and how it is viewed today? And if there is a difference, what is the most striking distinction?
The principal difference is that organizations today no longer view total quality as merely something in the province of manufacturing to improve reliability and reduce errors. Rather, it's become the management process for all the processes of a successful organization. And what's driving this is the emergence of the customer as the dominant factor in all transactions. The customers in this new age of ours, global competition and information, are able now to be the drivers of their own destiny, and they're the ones who are establishing what is value.
Thank you, and let's begin with Module 1.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to once again be part of an International Training Center video conference. Our subject today may seem like old news, but total quality has become an indispensable tool for all of our organizations as the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century unfold. Achieving customer satisfaction in today's global marketplace is the essential and sometimes daunting #1 task for us all. And the pursuit of this objective in a highly competitive world is birthing a new generation of total quality, one that measures an organization's performance based on customer delight. Each day, the world marketplace becomes more efficient and more competitive. This is why we no longer define companies as multinational, but rather as global. This marketplace in which our global organizations compete is defined by 4 characteristics. The first is digital technology, which allows information and data to be shared instantly around the world. In turn, this permits organizations to reach prospective consumers anywhere in the world, affording even the smallest organization global recognition. The second characteristic is that directly or indirectly, this global marketplace affects all nations, organizations, and individuals throughout the world. The goods and services produced, purchased, and expended around the world have created an economic interdependence for a growing majority of nations. Third, the world marketplace is made up of a multitask network of companies and nations. Participation in this network requires that organizations change their structure and policies to match the new demands of networking. These new arrangements are rapidly changing markets and creating a volatile atmosphere, especially for those societies unfamiliar with free enterprise and competition. The fourth characteristic is what I want to focus on this morning: the fundamental shift in our customers' expectations of value. Customers today have more choices, better information about available products and services, and better access to suppliers. The result is that power in economic transactions has shifted to the customer, and the world's consumers want access to value, regardless of national borders. What matters is not the customer's role as a purchaser of a product, but his or her role as a product user. For this reason, successful organizations are reinventing themselves based not on what they do and how they do it, but by what their customer wants. Competition in the global marketplace demands that we shift from supply-side to demand-side thinking. As our organizations attempt to gather, organize, select, synthesize, and distribute information in the marketplace, we must recognize that we can only succeed if we sense and respond to our customers' desires, rather than simply making and selling services we think are valuable. This shift to customer dominance is not to be feared. Certainly, the global marketplace represents serious new challenges for our organizations, but it also offers still unrecognized opportunities. It goes without saying that these economic, social, and trade shifts have also impacted the concept of total quality and how it must be managed. In this first module today, we will discuss the significance of total quality as a business process, refresh our minds as to what it is and what it requires, and review what advantages it offers to an organization competing in the 21st century. During Module 2 of this program, we'll review the emergence of what is called new quality and its importance to customer satisfaction. Okay, let's review what total quality is all about. Since its advent in the 1980s, total quality management has had a progressive impact on the world's economic practices and behavior. It has become a powerful driver for successful economic, social, and technological growth throughout the world, although from its inception, total quality's single goal has been customer satisfaction. Total quality has but one focus: implementing and maintaining business processes that will satisfy the customer in increasingly effective ways. It is organization-wide in purpose, in that to succeed, it must be the way in which an organization carries on all of its activities, while at the same time emphasizing steady, continuous improvement through the use of facts and the reduction of variability. Simply put, the objective of total quality is improving performance by turning the organization into an efficient engine for satisfying customer requirements. Any sound quality program has 5 principles at work. The first is the principle of customer satisfaction. This must be the guiding principle for everyone in the organization. Of course, the customer is not only the consumer of the organization's product or service. Every part of any organization has internal customers whose needs must be understood and met. In each case, it is the responsibility of the producer of a service or subassembly to determine what their customer needs in order to do their job in an optimal way. The other side of that coin is that internal customers need to take responsibility to be certain their suppliers know those needs. The net result, of course, is a process of teamwork that is focused on achieving organizational objectives that guarantee the external customer's requirements. The second is the principle of process. Having set goals, the organization's full attention is given to developing ways to reach them. Just as a healthy diet and exercise produce a healthy body, a well-designed process will produce the desired results. In a quality organization, everyone keeps their eye on the process, that ordered sequence designed to produce a given result. If there is an error, its analysis becomes a learning event to spot the flaw in the process that caused it, thus improving the dependability of the process. This is a practice of day by day, week by week, discovery of the small steps that make the process increasingly more efficient, economical, and dependable. The third principle is the principle of collaboration. In our more philosophical moments, most of us would agree that no man is an island and no part of an organization is self-sufficient and independent. But in practice, it is all too easy to strive for independence, which we usually associate with freedom and the power to control our environment. We don't like to be told how to do our job by people who don't really understand what we do. But the cornerstone of a customer-driven organization is interdependence. Each part of the organization must be privy to what others do and need to do their job in the most effective and efficient manner. The fourth is the principle of measurements. This is the heart of managing by fact. Progress cannot be determined by guesswork or impressions, particularly when groups of people are involved. Establishing checkpoints and measurements are the only certain way of assessing the accuracy and the predictability of a process, and thus determining progress or the lack of it. It is the use of numbers and charts that bring us closer to the truth of a matter, not anecdotal descriptions. The fifth principle is the principle of persistence. Total quality does not visualize an end. It has the characteristics of a marathon. It is a race without a finish line, because the march toward improvement never ceases. Success requires continuous improvement, which can only be achieved by process discipline and the persistence to improve. Of course, principles are only words until they are translated into operating strategies and management behavior. Most of you probably subscribe to the principles we have just reviewed, but some, I would suspect, harbor reservations about implementing them in your own organizations for a variety of reasons, like time, money, or the belief that the need to survive precludes any kind of idealism. This is why the underpinning of total quality is management's resolve. It isn't sufficient to simply endorse and offer support for total quality. Management must lead it with enthusiasm and observable determination. To make quality work in an organization, 3 challenges must be addressed. First, management must translate its personal commitment into action, and that commitment must be strong and enduring. This requires a willingness to learn new things, the courage to listen, and a flexible manner of pursuing the organization's strategic objectives. Second challenge is to demonstrate patience in adapting to total quality and making the process work. This means resisting the temptation to revert to old management practices, avoiding quick fixes that don't endure, and learning from the organization's mistakes. The third challenge is to be relentless in the quest for quality. Anything short of total commitment is always interpreted by employees, suppliers, and customers as a sign of insincerity. As Douglas MacArthur cautioned, it is fatal to enter any war without the will to win it. If total quality is anchored by senior management's resolve, then employee involvement is the structure that makes it work. To succeed, total quality must engage everyone in the organization, managers and individual contributors, in a totally integrated effort toward improving performance at all levels, in all functions. To be effective at managing their work processes, employees must be versed in the tools and processes necessary to improve work methods and quality, and know that management expects constant improvement. The bedrock of total quality is management, leadership, and commitment. It is the first of 6 strategic initiatives because it is the foundation upon which the other 5 strategic objectives stand, like pillars supporting the construction of a total quality organization. While these tools are largely statistically driven instruments, the history of total quality shows us that attention must be given to the psychological and behavioral dimensions of the organization. As one successful CEO has said, the soft stuff is the hard stuff. In other words, the major barriers to quality superiority are not technical, they are behavioral. Strategic pillar number 1 is a supportive organizational structure and the roles. The pursuit of total quality is not without a price. Some kind of quality infrastructure is a necessary investment. At a minimum, one person, preferably a peer of the senior management team, needs to be responsible for implementing the strategy and keeping it updated. While quality expertise can be purchased from a consulting firm, internal experts, part-time or full-time, do have the advantage of being internal role models, reinforcing employee participation. Strategic pillar number 2 is the tools and processes of total quality. Common quality instruments include a problem-solving process, a process improvement process, 7 statistical tools, benchmarking, and techniques for collaborative activities such as meetings. By learning to establish measurements for the desired end result and regularly reviewing actual measurements that indicate probable outcomes, employees are able to focus on the actions that will achieve the needed improvement. Strategic pillar number 3 is educational programs. Total quality begins and ends with education because it gives employees an understanding of quality and a working knowledge of the tools and techniques they need for work process improvement. Training is the most necessary and powerful investment for a successful quality organization because it is the most important change agent for total quality implementation. There are many training modules available that can be purchased from a variety of sources, but they should be customized to fit your organization's needs and plans. Of course, those of you in Central and South America and the Caribbean are already familiar with the capabilities of vocational training institutions, VTIs, to provide an individual or organization with quality resources. The same is true of Germany's Federal Institute for Vocational Training, and in the People's Republic of China, the Employment Services Organization. Incidentally, the PRC also offers the programs of CCR-TVU, China Central Radio and TV University. Strategic pillar number 4 is reward strategies. The way people are treated at work powerfully impacts the way they feel about themselves as individuals and as employees of the enterprise. Reinforcing positive work behaviors on the job clearly affects work performance and establishes a work atmosphere characterized by confidence, respect, and mutual trust, one that encourages and motivates people to practice total quality behaviors. Strategic pillar number 5 is complete and regular communications. Success in total quality is dependent on consistent and credible communication in the broadest sense of the word. No matter how carefully worded or creatively crafted, communications will not succeed if they are at odds with the organization's behavior. Unless employees are continually informed of the quality objectives of the organization and their progress to get to the desired state, total quality will flounder. Some of the steps to include in a total communication strategy are: 1, including quality objectives in the organization's business plans. 2, soliciting employee feedback. 3, using all in-house communication vehicles, including management speeches, for spreading the word of total quality. And 4, requiring operating units to prepare annual communications plans in support of the process. The foundation and pillars of a total quality strategy represent a comprehensive structure upon which organizations throughout the world have transitioned to total quality. With this structure, they have established quality as their key business principle to achieve such business objectives as market share, an effective cost structure, profit, and customer satisfaction. Implementing total quality in our organizations has not been easy or quick because transformation to any new culture requires time and learning. Generally, the typical organization has to pass through 6 stages. The first 5 stages will take anywhere from 4 to 8 years to complete. The 6th stage, which we'll discuss in a moment, is ongoing. In stage 1, management explores total quality as a possible management style and process to adopt for their organization. Many organizations never emerge from this stage, arguing that total quality will not work for them. The deteriorating performance of many such organizations in the 21st century illustrates the truth of self-fulfilling prophecies. In stage 2, the senior executive of the organization makes a firm commitment to total quality and makes the investment of manpower and time to build a constituency for the new direction. Stage 3, more investments are made by training managers and employees in the tools and concepts of total quality. During stage 4, people master these tools and begin applying them to a high order of projects and activities. In stage 5, the tools and processes and quality language are integrated in the day-to-day work operations of the organization, and successes are recorded and communicated to all the stakeholders, that is, employees, customers, suppliers, and shareholders. The goal of organizational maturity and quality, the point when everyone is using the tools and processes, is slow to arrive because internalization takes time. This is always the case in a large organization because once you've got commitment at the top and at the bottom, the big problem is then getting commitment in the middle, and that takes a lot of effort. But commitment must exist throughout the entire organization before you can move on to stage 6. Getting through the first 5 stages is not binary. The only roadmap to guide an organization through the stages is a written, comprehensive plan that defines the future state and spells out what must be done to get there. And getting there is essential in today's world. The last phase, stage 6, is characterized by continuous improvement, where higher standards are established, systems are perfected, and the organization is alert to competition and changing customer requirements. Organizations committed to total quality never leave this stage. In fact, this is where world-class organizations today are. As they raise the bar higher and redefine total quality for themselves, they are creating the new quality for the 21st century. Unfortunately, not all organizations are rising to the challenge. Even today, despite all our gains in total quality initiatives, the cost of poor quality, the lack of conformance to customer requirements, impacts at least 20% of any organization's sales, and that does not include lost sales opportunities. Since most companies only measure the number and kind of customer complaints they receive, they don't know how many customers or potential customers avoid their products or services, because these customers just simply go someplace else to do business. Consider the following. 14% of global customers are dissatisfied with the products or service they receive. but only 3 to 5% of these dissatisfied customers vocalize their concerns to their suppliers. But we know from surveys that they tell at least 9 other people of their dissatisfaction. The result is that the average business loses 10 to 30% of its customers each year, and they don't know why. Because these turnover customers don't complain. They just go away. While it is 5 to 15 times more expensive to recruit a new customer than to retain current customers, less than 10% of businesses regularly survey their customers to measure and benchmark their satisfaction. This is why total quality has become the management practices standard in most successful organizations. It is also why there is a new total quality evolving from a renewed pursuit of customer satisfaction. We'll discuss this new total quality in the next segment, so I think we'll pause here and give you an opportunity to ask questions or share the experiences of your own organization.
Let's begin with the first question and answer session. We will try to answer as many questions as possible. Therefore, we ask that only one question be